Good morning, everyone. You know, whenever I hear this gospel passage, my attention is drawn to the seven brothers. I mean, I can understand the second or maybe even the third marrying the widow, but there comes a point at which you get a little bit concerned. If I'm the sixth or the seventh brother, there's no way I'm marrying that woman. But when I start thinking that way, I'm thinking like a Sadducee. I am viewing the woman as an object, and death is the end of the story. See, the Sadducees can't imagine that there is anything beyond this earthly existence. And so they try to poke holes in Jesus' teaching about the resurrection, assuming that if there is a resurrection, it is nothing more than a continuation of this earthly life. Jesus has two things to teach them and us about that. Yes, there is a resurrection. But no, it is nothing like this earthly life. And Jesus tells us a little bit more about what happens between the end of this earthly life and the resurrection on the last day. So when this physical body dies, life does not end. The earthly life ends, yes, but life in God continues. And the patriarchs are proof of that. Jesus tells us that the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, is the God of the living, not the dead. But Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob died centuries ago, and yet they live. They live with God. And that same promise is made to each of us. See, the things of this world are meaningful and important, but they're not eternal. So as we gather this morning to listen to God's holy word, to be nourished by the precious body and blood of Christ Jesus, let us live this life in the love of Christ that prepares us for the life that never ends. And let us share that love with all whom we encounter, so as to avoid being distracted by the passing things of this world.